All right, let's kick it off. How to unlock the growth. How to unlock the growth in 10 days without hiring extra people and guessing who to sell to. So the real truth is most founders don't have a sales problem. They have a clarity problem. And this is not a theory. In the next 20 minutes, I'll show you exactly how we fixed ourselves. The problem in our clients grew in 20% in less than 2 weeks. And this is not a miracle. It's the go-to-market framework that actually works. So I'm Val, and I co-founded Voost with Jacob. We're builders, and we've been in the trenches, sales calls, broken funnels, and we know exactly how to fix why isn't this working for us. And now we help the founders to fix the same. So I've spent 18 years in sales. Jacob met hundreds of management teams. Between us, we've seen the same pattern over and over again. Revenue slow down, founders panic, and the truth is, it's not really the product, but the clarity of the product and the positioning. So the revenue slow down, it's not because you need more leads. It's because you're saying the wrong thing, wrong people. And to fix that, the growth happens. So stick around and I'll show you exactly how to fix that and what diagnostics to use and the framework as well. So the common myths, I love the myths. So the common myths, number one, they keep telling me you just need more leads. I mean, what is going to happen? We need more leads, and then what? Myth number two, paid ads, they're going to save you. Bunch of cash invested in paid ads, and then the market is slowed down. I mean, nothing is really happening. So no, 73% of B2B teams fail because their ICP and messages were wrong. To fix that, you don't need more hacks. You just need a clear strategy. So stop guessing and stop using the system that actually works. Get clear on your offer, ideal customer profile, and the messaging. Build the go-to-market playbook in less than 1 day and execute it hard. This is how you grow without duct tape techniques and without any guesswork. So step number one, most founders talk about what they do, and the winners talk about what customers care about. They get inside of their head. So turn your offer into a no-brainer. Think about the headline that is going to convert, and also think about the awareness stages of the market. Where are your customers at? Are they aware about the problem? Are they aware about the solution? Are they aware that actually you are the one who's solving that solution for them? And now they need just the reason. So we run the diagnostics that map out the GRASP framework, the goal of the ideal customer profile, the roadblocks that they're actively facing, the alternatives. I mean, who are they looking at the market? What are the competitors that they're talking to? What competitors are offering? What are the symptoms that they're experiencing? And what are the promises? What exactly is the language that they're speaking inside of their emotional world? So then this is your clarity stack. And one liner that actually resonates, and the offer that actually converts. When the messaging speaks directly to your ideal customer profile, this is what actually converts in the end of the day. So if you want to use the GRASP framework, you need to position yourself from the perspective of writing the offer where you're saying we'll help who to go from pain into the desired outcome without common pitfalls or common friction. So for example, we help software companies to go from stale revenue into clarity and 10x on revenue and leads without overhead costs or any additional spend. So step number two, no more random tactics and no more random strategies. You have to get clear on what you're building in your go-to-market system. Who are you selling to? What are you saying? Who are you saying into? And how are you selling your product? So you get in the GPS and kind of start driving the car, or let us drive it. And the data is the most important thing, because how are you actually, what are you basing your decisions on? And we're not even talking about what's working and what's not. Then when you're making the decisions and you don't know what is actually working, you're stuck in the business because you're busy with admin, you're busy with selling. Yes, you understand that the product has legs when you're stuck with selling. Yes, you understand how the business is working from inside, but inside of the business, you can't step outside and understand how it's actually working. And you can't work on the business if you're doing that from day to day. So the data is crucial. You collect the internal data, external data, and analyze it based on the market. And this is where you base your decisions on. Are you actually tracking what your customer is telling you? Do you collect it somewhere in a document like customer lingo? All this data is really important. We're really used to sort of jump into the execution without even thinking about the root and the cause of the issue, why our ads are not performing and things like that. So get the data right, things like pipeline, CRM, what are your customers saying, all those things, collect them together and put them together with the data in the market, analyze it. And for the last 7 months, we have been developing and working on the AI tool that is going to do it for you within minutes. So quick gut check. Can anyone tell me here, what are your top 3 ideal customer segments in 10 seconds? Can you name your top 3 ideal customer profile segments? So do you know who are you selling to? You can drop the answer in the chat. Do you actually have the offer that buyers say yes to without thinking? Are you converting a lot of customers on a daily basis? Everyone you're reaching out to saying yes to you? And is the messaging that you're sending to those customers, does it make them reply? What are the reply rates? So if you're saying no to one of those questions, you're not scaling anything certain. You're not leading with certainty. That's all just the noise. Maybe you're sitting on a really good product. I'm pretty sure you do. But you need to understand the psychology behind your customers, behind the messaging. And what you can't really say, hey, let's book a demo, buy now, to all the segments of the ideal customer profile. Like it has to speak to their desires. So step number 3, and this is where most of the consultants actually stop. We don't, but most of the consultants and most of the businesses stop. And we build the system with you or for you, and you walk away basically with ideal customer clarity, a working sales engine, messaging that converts, and the proof that it's working within less than 2 weeks. So some of the case studies that I wanted to touch on today, SaaS marketing, BPO. With SaaS, there was a really interesting case study. We helped them to reposition, and the offer was directly addressing their objection that they kept hearing from customer to customer. And once the objection became the part of the offer and the part of the position, and actually was part of the messaging that they kept sending, the reply rates increased from 5% to 48%. And the revenue within first couple of weeks, 20% plus. So it's not a problem with the product or how you're addressing it. It's actually the positioning that sometimes can address those objections. Same with the marketing agency. They were speaking to everyone. It's basically when you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. You're addressing something that resonates with no one. And yes, you're selling a great service, but you're chasing inbound leads who are always asking about the pricing first. The cold outreach is not performing. Your messages are being ignored. You're trying to sell, lead in with the value, but their attention is dropping because the customers are not seeing the value and not seeing you as the right strategic partner. So this was the case with this marketing agency. And then we looked at the framework, and the result was the gap in the niche. So once they niched into the clean energy sector, 150% lead to call conversion rate, and cost per lead dropped from $800 to $120. So it's really, and we also have the BPO. I mean, this is where the sales cycles are actually a really big problem. It's long, it's draining. The offer is saturated. Everyone knows about the offshoring, but we cut the sales cycles in half, not because they started hustling harder or doing something different. We just fixed their go-to-market system. So I think the value nugget within all these 3 industries is that they didn't really change the product, or they didn't change what they're actually doing. They changed their positioning and they changed their messaging because they understood the ideal customer profile. So with all those strategic insights, all three industries succeed. Most strategies are failing because they're not based on the data. And data is really important, especially nowadays. You can guess as much as you want, but if you don't understand the market, it's not going to work out. And if you don't have the ideal customer profile clarity, I know you think you figured it out, but do you understand what kind of objections all of them are having in their head? What do they think when they click on top of your funnel? And there is no execution path. There is strategies that are based on guesswork. This is not how we do things. We fix that. And in one sprint, you'll know exactly what to do and how to do it. So it really didn't start with a software or building out an AI tool. The whole thing started with a frustration and a personal pain. So we were consulting, launching go-to-market systems and strategies for startups and service businesses. And every founder came with different approach. So everyone came with different value nuggets and growth hack and different fundamentals and strategies and tools that they have been using. And all of them kept popping up, and kind of the offer wasn't clear, and the ideal customer profile was not clear, and all the messages were confusing. So all of them were thinking, why is it not performing? The strategy is good. And we watched smart teams kind of slowing down on their revenue and thinking about the product, is it bad, is it good? But because they didn't know the root of the issue, that was the positioning that we figured out in the end of the day. And addressing the right market, which doesn't really need more advice or a better product. They just need an alignment. And the customer just needs to understand that they are in the right place, in the right time, with the right person. And so there was no central place for the founders to come together and say, like, who are we actually selling to? What are we saying to them? And what should we say? What exactly should we say to spark that interest? And why should they care? So everyone got a bit of a puzzle, and ads, strategy decks, cold emails, marketing funnels, but no one really understood the core issue, the clarity that provides the go-to-market system and the level it kind of leads it to. So we asked, what if we could compress the 6-month strategy into a 10-day system? And then we started building from that, understanding the offers, audience, and the playbook that we locked in before the person starts spending on the growth. We're used to jump into execution and waiting for results, but this was the fundamental. So we built the GTM clarity engine. And when we built that, then we started building an AI tool to make it happen within minutes. So this is where we started showing how things are working and how to approach the GTM strategy without spending an extra dollar on the ads that are not performing, on hiring another SDR that is not delivering, or approaching another consultant who's going to be burning $5,000 a month. And then, overall, the value of this sort of diagnostics is minimum compared to these burnouts in the end of the day. So yeah, we started building that tool, and this is how it all came together. And that was essentially the resolution for us, kind of solving the issue that we were facing. And then clients started asking for it. And now it's the foundation of everything that we do. So yeah, simple framework, but it will work for free with first 5 people who can email us asking for support, and we'll generate you the go-to-market playbook, and that you can implement and start seeing the growth within next couple of weeks. And more webinars are coming up next month, including the how to implement AI in your go-to-market strategy execution. We have been playing a lot with AI agents for marketing and sales, so a lot of value nuggets. And if you can't attend, I'll definitely send you the recording. Okay, hope that this was useful. I'll open the floor for questions, if you have any. You can start with the chat. If you want to kick off the discussion, you can unmute the mic as well. I hope that was useful. Maybe someone can add some insights about their go-to-market systems and things that you are using currently. Is anyone into outreach, automation tools? Anyone doing ads? Anyone seeing return on AI agents? So to begin, I see Alex is asking the question, where do I begin to craft my ICP if I'm starting from scratch? What's your advice? So first of all, I would identify the offer and your positioning. Who are you speaking to and what's the pain point that you're resolving? Once you find the pain, you mark it X and you start digging. So you dig in into every single segment that can potentially experience this pain. And then you address the customers, so understanding the roles, understanding the companies, the industries that are typically facing the same issue. Again, I guess speaking to everyone is not ideal. If you can niche down and sort of narrow down that pain even further, to start with a couple of industries, that's going to be an ideal scenario. Once you pinpoint and understand the segments, you can go even further and understand what do those roles crave, what is their ego, talking about what are the motivators, what is the motivation behind every single decision of those customers, and so to narrow it down. And then the last bit that I would address are the alternatives. Who are they speaking to? Are they actually checking out the competitors and objections? So every time you're working on the ideal customer profile, you need to understand the objections. And when you're pitching, you position those objections in your offer. So you're talking through those objections and make the customer sort of talk back through them, kind of saying that this is not a problem. So this is just a start, but if you have any more questions, I would love to share more about the market awareness stages, which is my favorite topic if you are writing ads, if you're doing the copywriting, but can send you more information on that. Do you have a date yet for the implementation call? No date yet, but I'll update you. I'm thinking to do it actually in a couple of weeks. We are testing a couple of new agents, so wanted to include that as well into the strategy session, and mention some really cool go-to-market hacks on how to reduce, all this manual thing around, all the content, all the marketing, and all the outreach strategies, because I truly believe that once you have a really good foundation, your ideal customer profile, you understand your offer, your position, and all these things. Once you have this foundation, obviously you have a good product. You then can position yourself where you automated everything to the point where you need to jump on a call and shake the hand. And this is the ideal scenario, because AI should do all the repetitive tasks and humans are for shaking hands and closing and building the relationship after. So if you want to know more about AI implementation and automation specifically in go-to-market, Chris, we can also have a separate discussion. I'm happy to share more. All right. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. Anything go-to-market, AI, automations and implementation, outreach, ad strategies. AI implementation is so strong, saying Chase, though sometimes anything that smells like folks have hostile reaction. Yeah, that's true. That's why, I think personally, by the way, you can unmute yourself. I think I already changed the settings, but I honestly think AI implementation is in the position to kind of reduce the time that you're investing into setting the foundations. We recently been trying that cool tool that handles all the outreach replies. So like literally handles the conversation, the prompting is behind, and it's been working really well. But I feel like the human touch has been reduced, as well as the playfulness of the conversation. So meantime, it's good for like as a generic solution to get back to the leads really quick. I think that the frameworks need to be considered. So when you're prompting your AI automations, they have to understand the frameworks of being more playful, sometimes to push the customer away a little bit, to sort of establish that connection more. So yeah, I just feel the market is really saturated and people start getting tired of AI automations. Especially, execs who spending on average 30 minutes a day checking their inboxes and, just going through spam. Raise your hand if you ever done this. So yeah, it can be really beneficial, but I think we're still at the point where human has to stay on the top of the chain of the pyramid to sort of navigate the automations and its implementation. About the human touch on initial outreach, I feel that everyone, just a quick one on the outreach. I feel like everyone is trying to sell at the very first connect. But the point is that we don't really know until we understand the pain. And this is why, like speaking about the market segments, and I recorded a video on it earlier today, actually just posted. So if you have the customer which is aware of the problem, we can pitch them from starting from the problem. But there are customers who are not aware that they have those problems, so we need to educate them. Some customers are aware of the solution that you're offering, so they might be ready to buy, but they need to know more about you. And then there are customers who are actually aware that you're offering this solution, but they don't have enough trust. So your goal here, kind of like, this is an evolution of how you're approaching each and every customer. And the position here is not to come with a sale, hey, buy now, book a demo. You're coming with a specific message that taps into this segment. You have your offer figured out. You know the exact objection that your customer has in your mind, and this is why playbook is so important. I know that we are craving outcomes, but I tried to do that for 8 years, been in sales for 18 years. And honestly, each and every time a campaign was failing, I realized that there was a deeper root of the issue. And this is how the framework started. And it's really valuable because you really see the impact. First of all, you understand the gaps in your offer. Maybe sometimes you're using the same headline as 5 other companies. Yes, the market can be saturated, but there's definitely an opportunity where you could address some sort of innovation in the offer, and sometimes that just tweaking one word. So that's the example back to SaaS company that we've been working. So just by addressing the objection in the title, the response rate skyrocketed. It was incredible. So yeah, let me know, guys, if you have any more questions. I'm happy to talk more about the framework. Happy to talk more about outreach and automations. If you want to share some experiences as well, you can unmute and talk about it more. We still got time. All right. Well, I guess if no one has any other questions, I promise to make it quick. Everyone's time is valuable, so is mine. First 5 people who are going to reach out an email, we're going to run the framework for free, and I hope it's going to set you up with a clear and really good go-to-market system. that will help you with your marketing and sales approach and conversions and reply rates. If you have any questions, let me know. I can share. Okay, Chase. Let's take it further. Happy to help. Let me know if you have any questions. Always happy to connect, and I'll send the recording of the webinar. Let's stay tuned for next sessions. This was the first for us. So thanks, Alex. Thanks, Mina. Thanks, everyone. Have a beautiful Thursday, and let's keep in touch, guys. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Vicky.